Okay, let's get our brine done, and it couldn't be easier. I've got 6 cups of vinegar here, and I'm actually using 5 parts white vinegar and 1 part apple cider vinegar, mostly because I ran out of white vinegar, but you could use any vinegar you want here. I have done these with all apple cider vinegar before. They're really good. This time I just wanted to mix it up a little bit. And as far as the recipe goes, I will put the 1 part recipe in the description, and this happens to be 4x that. That was just plain filtered water out of our reverse osmosis filter, and that happened to be 2 cups. So I've got 8 cups of liquid total, but again, the recipe will be for the 1 part. I've got Cajun seasoning. I happen to be using Malcolm's King Craw, which I really like. This is sort of to taste, but I'll put the base recipe in. I've got some sugar, just plain white sugar. And I have got some canning salt. You can use whatever whatever kind of salt you want. That vinegar mixture got me. But if you use like a denser or more rocky type salt, you might want to use a little bit more. And there we go. That's our brine. So we're going to turn this heat on and just bring this to a boil and stir it and then turn it off the heat. I'm not trying to cook it down, just dissolve the ingredients. So next we will get our other ingredients together. So we'll see you over at the cutting board. Okay, next we're going to get our veggies chopped, and what we're going to use, and you could use different things here. I'm going to use a red onion. I think they pickle really nicely. I'm going to use a whole jalapeno. You could use a couple. This one happened to be pretty big, so I'm just going to use 1. I am going to leave the seeds and the ribs in, hoping for a little heat, but that again is optional. And then I've got about 5 cloves of garlic here that I'm going to use. So no trick here to chopping these. We're going to do half moons on the red onion and just discs on the jalapeno. The garlic I'm probably going to chop in half just because I find it's pretty easy to peel if you chop it in half. So we're going to get those done. Here's our jar, by the way. This is what we're going to use to put the eggs in. The eggs are peeled and in the fridge. So I'll get these veggies done and we'll bring you back. Oops. Okay, so we've got our veggies chopped, our red onions, jalapenos, garlic. We've got our hard-boiled eggs, and I've got 17 of those because someone might have eaten one of them when they were being peeled. So here we go. So the trick is here is you want to layer things. So there's no science to it for me anyway. I'm not trying to count discs of jalapenos to make even layers. But we're just going to throw a little of each in. I just dropped an onion, and then we'll add just enough eggs to cover the bottom there, and then go again. That vinegar solution is still simmering on the stove, and it's getting me. And now we'll do some more eggs. Here we go. And you can use any kind of container for this. I happen to have this big glass jar that I like to use for doing large pickling batches. All right, so get the rest of these veggies in. I usually end up with a good amount to put on top just because I haven't used them all, but that's fine. It's all good. All right, we're gonna grab our brine, a couple of other ingredients, but we are about done. So I'll bring you back here in just a minute. Okay, some final ingredients. I've got some Telecherry peppercorns. Gonna add, I've got no measurement for this. I just like to do, if I had to guess, a teaspoon. I've got some mustard seed. I love mustard seed in pickled stuff. I love it in a lot of things actually, but I'm just gonna take the lid off and add some. You could certainly add some dill here if you wanted a dill flavor. I don't have any dill, at least fresh dill, and I'm just not gonna add it this time. And I've got some crushed red pepper just to add a little more spice. Again, gonna take the lid off and just add some there. Again, no measurements for those. And last but not least, we have our brine. Now, I believe, and I could be proven wrong about this, I believe I can pour out of this pot pretty easily without it doing that backfill. I think this pot works pretty well for that, but we're about to find out. It's not boiling by any means, but it was certainly simmering, and it is steamy. So we're just gonna pour it over the eggs and veggies. And you want it to go over the top. Oh, and I definitely had some leftover seasoning in there. So we're gonna, as best we can, get that out. And there we go. Got it pretty good. And now we're just gonna kind of use our spatula to work everything together, especially with that seasoning that we dumped out at the end. And there we go. So now comes the hardest part of doing these pickled eggs is you've got to wait. You've got to wait at least a week. 2 or 3 weeks would probably even be better. I can never manage to wait more than a week. So I'm going to let this cool on the counter, and then I'm going to close it up tight, and it's going to go in the fridge after it cools, and then we'll see you in a week or 2, and we'll finish this video up and we'll try one. So one of the hardest things about doing pickled eggs is having to wait to eat them. I've waited, I don't know, 4 to 5 to 6 days before. These have been going. I haven't touched this. I have mixed the jar around a little bit, but I have not opened it or anything. It's been just less than 2 weeks, I think 12 days, if memory serves. So it's time to crack into these. You could wait a little longer, but I want to try them. So I'm gonna fish one of these out of here. If I get an onion or 2, so be it. Ooh, and a jalapeno. Oh, so good. These have definitely taken on some color from the brine. And you can see how it's penetrated in the egg. Now, when I've done this for less than a week, you don't really see that penetration, so that's a sure sign. Let me see if I can get it in the camera. Not a big deal, but may as well try. So, I don't know if that's focusing or not, but hopefully you can see where that brine has penetrated the egg. And we're gonna give this a shot. I don't know if I have the stones to try this jalapeno, we'll see. That's such a good snack. You can taste the brine for sure. I tell you, if I owned a bar, I would have a jar of these sitting on the counter. I'd charge $3 a piece for them. That was so good. If you wanted to, you could make some egg salad out of these now. add a nice flavor to an egg salad. Personally, I like them just like this. These will probably be good for a quarter, 3 months, something like that. They never last that long for me, so I never have to worry about it. That, ooh, that jalapenos light me up. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Give these Cajun pickled eggs a try. You won't regret it if you're a hard-boiled egg fan and like a little spice. This jalapeno is getting me. I'm going to eat the other half of this egg and a couple of onions. Then they'll go back in the fridge. I'll probably have one a day for the next 16 days. I might have a boy that'll want one too. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you don't mind, and we'll see you next time. Dang, those are good.